I think this would be the best way to get some drama, is to angle it more. And I think you may have drawn her arms different lengths, but that's okay, don't even worry about that. And I would have her be like, I would take this arm and move it up into the panel. I have her be like, doing kind of like, wait a sec, like doing sort of like a fisted shrug a little bit. Or maybe even have her like spinning a little. I'm just thinking how the text is formatted. I think that's okay. I would just maybe make that ever so slightly smaller, or have the bubble clip outside of the panel so that you're not covering her elbow, because that's where all the excitement is in those angles of her arms. You know, that's like where all your energy is coming from. You don't want to cover any of that. And then just make sure it's kind of... Okay. If she goes, how does it fly? Now, one of the things is I didn't show a page establishing where these characters are to each other, but as you can see in this panel, she's standing just directly opposite them. So what I would do for something like this is this is a really common thing in anime to show a floating non-directional bubble. And don't worry, I used to do it all the time. Even in manga, it can be interpreted badly, because even though there's no tail here, indicating that there's no tail, so it indicates that none of these three characters are talking, I found it can still be confusing for the reader. They could think that now a fifth person has come into the scene and is off camera going, how does it fly? You know? So what I like to do, and this isn't like the perfect fix for this kind of thing, but I like to show the tail going off panel in the direction that she is at. Now, because she is directly opposite this character here, I can't draw the tail like going through her. So I recommend doing something like that. And how this would look I need to have like a sketch page off to the side when I do these. I'll do that right now. I'll just do that right now. Can't stop me. I'm the boss. 9, 9, bam. Okie dokie. So how this would be is, in perspective, is so you have to pretend this is like the Roger Rabbit book where the cartoon characters actually have. So you have three ghosts. These are characters. The two guys and the blue hair girl. And then you have her, the other girl. And she's saying, how does it fly? And this is her text bubble right there. And then it comes up out of the top of their panel like this. And the end of the tail would be over here with her. Okay, and I know you're like, what the hell? I mean, we don't see that, but just trust me, that's how it works. That's how it would read. Okay, so just like that. Alright, so, and they look good. I think everything's fine there. I think you might have forgotten to color some parts. That's okay, don't worry about that. That's fine, I do it all the time. Okay, these look good. These all look fine. Advanced magnetic propulsion technology, it grows wings. So, yeah, that looks good. Again, be careful of a tangent here. I'm assuming this is... I'm actually not sure what that is. At first I thought it might be a decorative curtain or something over the top, but I would definitely like angle that or something. Anything so that you don't have a line going through the top of your panel and through the balloons. And also, I think they're in the harbor of a city, so I know you're doing pretty highly stylized backgrounds, but in shots like this, when you actually have quite a bit showing, I would try to show that either the back of the boat or the harbor or wherever, just to add a little more depth to your panels, and you're lucky because you're working in color, and a lot of times when you work in color, you can have much more complicated backgrounds than you could if you were in black and white. I know somebody's gonna yell at me for saying that. But anyway. Now, this is actually my favorite page. I think this is probably the best one. Only a few minor things. I love that you have... Excuse me, I'm coughing up a storm there. It's just been so dry. Anyway, I love that you have a panel inside of a large panel. I do that all the time. It's like a big graphic novel kind of thing. Oh my goodness, I cannot stop coughing. Again, be careful of tangents, straight lines coming through. It can confuse the reader. It creates imaginary panels. Also, I noticed that I'm pretty sure you went from having pretty uniform bubbles to sort of this one, which is a little more wonky. So just be careful of that. Also, when centering your text, you would want... I'll show you how I do my text bubbles. Okay, but if everyone was asleep, who was driving? Okay, so that's what she's saying. But if everyone was asleep, who was driving? Text bubble 101 here. So you would want to start at the end, click there, say enter. Now you've got an invisible space there, delete that. Hit enter again. This is a much more round kind of shape for your text. Because it goes like that. So that's kind of the shape you want to go for with your text. Some people would probably argue me about this because but if everyone was asleep, pause, who was driving? So generally you like to have your pauses, I think, at least I would like my pauses to hit on the sides of bubbles. So I might actually try to reformat that to drop that who down to a different line. But that's okay, because now you have a nice neat bubble. And if you wanted to, because this is nice and flat up here, you could clip it a little bit. Maybe not that much. Maybe even a little bit on that side. And then she's over here like... But, who's driving, you know? Like, I love that panel of her doing the arms, doing the pantomime. That's really cute. I do that a lot, too. Okay, so that's a little more Bubble 101 for you. I had to check something. Okay, so she drops her hand between this and this. Gotcha. So I was gonna say, where's that fist at? But, I was gonna make you draw that fist right there. I was gonna come to your house in the night, wake you up and say, Kutani, get out of bed. You have to draw the fist. Now, Gyro is the guy who drives the ship. So, I actually really like this a lot. My only thing is, again, there's a tangent here with the bottom of his head is touching the bottom part of the boiler. So I would just, move his head up a little more. So that he is not, in tangent there. And I would even make his body come around a little bit more so that it doesn't look like he has an arm coming out of his jaw like I just did there. So yeah, I like that. And I might even put a border of some kind around her, separating her a little more from the background. And I put that, maybe put that same border around the panel, just to show that this is sort of a different setting, like a fantasy or a thought. Just an idea. But overall, I really like that one a lot. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. Again, more tangents. In fact, you almost, when I first saw this, I thought she was in a different panel. That's alright, though. Man, I told you not to talk about that. Anyway, it's almost time to open. At least you're up and dressed. Time to find a place for you. Alright, time to make a meaningful impact. Okay. Sniff. Disapproving sniff. No, I'm kidding. Again, I would move dress down to its own line and moved and right there, so you get nice round bubbles. Same thing with this. Or change the bubble shape to something more like that. But I would recommend keeping it like horizontal like that. Actually, if you could wing it, I would also drop this bubble down to touch this one. I do think the perspective is off here somewhat, so you could actually raise her more. And move her body and head over a little more because there's another tangent right there with your ear. It's almost touching. Tangents are a hard thing to avoid. I mean, you're always going to have a little bit. But, you know, if you can get around them at all, try to. I hear banging around downstairs. Again, I don't know exactly what this line is, so I would... Damn it, doorbell.